you know, zoning out or something. But the first thing that we need is a great computer. Get a good computer. It doesn't, Mac or PC don't matter to me. You got to understand that the fact is what you're using, what you're hooking up to it, and how it's running. One of the major components you need to hook up, so step number one, you need an audio interface. Well, which one do I buy? Well, the fact is, what do you want to use? Are you a band? Are you a producer? Are you this? Are you that? The thing is, a lot of producers that I know don't like producing in Pro Tools. Pro Tools is a great recording, mixing, all-around software. Don't get me wrong. Please learn it. But the fact is play like Reason Record, different programs like Fruity Loops and stuff like this. These are all great programs that you can actually start getting real creative with, and you can make a lot of good music, and you can do it on a budget. The next thing that you're going to need for the production side of things is, well, how do I control it? Am I going to click them with my mouse? Am I going to use my mouse all the time? No, that's where a little mini USB MIDI controller, you can get one with bigger keys, but a MIDI controller. But I'm going to tell you a little trick. I told you you need a audio interface. Most audio interfaces have MIDI in and MIDI out on the interface. So if you're bargain shopping it on eBay or something, and you see like a, let's say, who makes like an old school Yamaha, and it says, you know, type back, does it have MIDI? If it's got MIDI, you can actually take that cheesy sounding keyboard, which wasn't meant for sound quality. I mean, it was meant for playing, you know, just messing around with. But I used to have one, like a PSRs and all this. But if you can get those, there's actually user settings. You can turn the volume down on the keyboard so you don't need to hear it. But you can take and get 2 MIDI chords from your local Guitar Center or Radio Shack, and you can go MIDI in, MIDI out. So MIDI out of this thing to the MIDI into the keyboard, music keyboard, and MIDI out of the keyboard to the MIDI into this. You can go into your software, you can Google search and stuff, but now you got a MIDI controller for, you know, Fruity Loops, because you bought an interface with a MIDI controller. That was back in the day. I mean, you know, God is my witness, I did the same thing. I got out of school and I was so pumped to start recording that I went out and I tried to engineer a bad microphone. Please, I can't stress enough, if you're getting serious about your music and you love your music, buy a great microphone. I'm going to give you a recommendation for under $1,000, which, you know, it's not that hard, man. Work your butt off. Man, woman, guy, girls, I don't care. The fact is, work it, work it, work it. I know it's a recession, right? But the C214 is a great microphone. It's an awesome microphone. When I was at the school, the recording workshop, I used the 414, and I was so used to using my little Superflux microphone. The funny thing is, I had a studio in my dorm room at the school that I was recording at. It was sort of funny. Everybody was coming over, you know. Anyways, a Superflux. A Superflux? And they should have taken out the L, you know. And anyways, I can't knock it, dude. It actually was decent. I would recommend a Superflux if you're on a budget. Go get a Superflux. I tried the AKG Perception microphone. Horrible. It was a consumer grade microphone. So if you want big baller sound, you got to get something. You got to step up to the plate. This is the C214. It is the baby brother of the 414, which is infamous, and you probably heard it on many of records that you heard on the radio. I would recommend an AKG 214 if you're just a hip-hop artist. It's a straightforward microphone. That's called a cardioid microphone. That means it picks up in the front. A bipolar would pick up on both sides. A Omni would pick up all around the microphone. So that's what those little patterns are on the sides. This one has a low cut filter, which is basically like taking an equalizer and cutting off the low end, so you can get rid of that rumble or that microphone bump stand and all that stuff. Really cool stuff. That microphone needs what we call phantom power. When you buy an audio interface, make sure you get an interface that records with phantom power. It has phantom power. You understand what I'm saying? Most interfaces today should. I mean, it's sort of like old news when it comes to condenser mics and home recording. But just make sure you get a good microphone. Why? For a person like me, the biggest problem that I face is that I can't fix is I can't fix a bad microphone. I can preamp it, and I'll get into that in a second. I can try to equalize the living daylights out of it and make it sound like it was supposed to be that way, but if you're looking for a clear, prominent sound. I would rather have a clear sound that I can mess up and make distorted or something, instead of a messed up and trying to make it sound better. That's the biggest problem. I get bad vocal, mic recordings. Them being so long. But one of the major things that I would consider above a great microphone, an interface, is monitors. Get monitors that are great. I will tell you two great monitors that I had a chance to use. It's the Yamaha NS10s, awesome for mixing, and the Yamaha 80s, awesome for mixing. If you got big bucks, JBL makes some good ones. Look in the Guitar Center magazine. Look for studio monitors. The thing is, what you want to get, if you don't want to have to buy a reference amplifier, get powered monitors. These are the M-Audio BX8As. They're the deluxe version. I'm going to tell you right now, they're the best sounding monitors I've ever bought for the money. Okay, so there's a little hint for you. M-Audio BX8A, AKG 214, or the Newman series, or there's so many other microphones. I'm not just trying to say, I'm just trying to say what I like for an overall, just have it in the studio microphone. If you're going to buy it, go for the gusto kind of stuff. Get an interface. You could probably buy one of these Digi 002s on the internet for like 400, 500 bucks on eBay. A rack mount. What's the difference between the rack mounted one and this one? This one's a control surface. It's got faders that are automated that move. Makes your life a little bit funner when you're mixing for a long time. Get some good monitors. Monitors. Interface. Good microphone. Good stuff to hook up to this. Look, you got a bunch of band members that might come through later. You got guitar players. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a bass player, buy that Avalon. I'm just not. Just buy the Avalon. One, I'm going to go through it again. Audio interface, good microphone, good monitoring system so you can actually hear what you're doing. And if you're in the production, some sort of Midi, device, Midi keyboard and stuff so you can get into Fruity Loops. And if you want to spend the extra money, I would highly recommend a great mic preamp. Because the mic's only as good as the what it's getting recorded into. You understand? So get something that can test with that. So I don't know how many people said, "Man, I can't believe I came over here and recorded at your house. It sounds so much better than any other place I've went."